Alright, so the Hausa-speaking tribes, who are Muslims, was conditioned by the political class, the people in power, to live and die in abject poverty.
It's like President is not aware about this video. I don't think if President watched this video or heard what this man said about...
Very dark man of Nigeria made a video saying that the Hausa child has been subjected and conditioned by the political class to what? Abject poverty.
They will never know anything good in their lives. And this is the structure that the people in power have put in place for the longest.
This begging don't pass survival level for Lagos. Now full business now. Abi you no know say beggars don't they get ID.
My people, we have to do something about this.
Beggars begging in the street. I saw that video and my heart broke for the Hausa child.
And then they get posts where then they post them go. Lagos streets don't turn business up for them now.
They talk make the team pay northern leaders. If they want to do election of leadership for beggars for Nigeria, now Northern will be president.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News. A lot is going on in Nigeria, and if only I know how to speak Hausa, or not just Hausa, the one that we can speak, let these people begin to educate their people, especially the Hausa. We're not talking about the Fulani. The Fulani are the one causing the chaos in Nigeria. But I'm thanking God that this particular man is beginning to wake his people up. But I believe it's not enough. But then I want you guys to watch this particular Hausa man, this activist that have been advocating for the Hausa people, what he said about Nnamdi Kanu, warning the Nigerians, warning the Hausa, warning the whole country ahead of this Fulani caliphate, what they are doing, their plans to overrun and override Nigeria. I want you guys to watch it.
Just hear what he said to Mr. President. How can you hand over the security of Nigeria to this type of people with this kind of thinking? Did you just hear what he said?
It's not all of them are criminal. Not all of them are criminal, because if you know, or maybe if you investigate what is happening or what makes them to take those laws into their hand, some of them sometimes were cheated by so-called Nsakai, and I have to ban completely the Nsakai in my state. The Nsakai is those called vigilante group, who normally went to their settlement, destroy their property and take their animals. You know, so, and, you know, they doesn't have anyone to speak with. So sometimes
My people, this banditry is not all about collecting ransom and just killing people like that. No, it is all about taking over land. It is all about taking over our land. We should not fold our hands and just keep looking at these people perpetrating this evil. It is going to come and meet you wherever you are. My people, we have to do something about this. It's like President is not aware about this video. I don't think if President watched this video or heard what this man said about the kidnappers.
Now, this particular guy, for me, we need more of them that are outside, that speak their language, that will be on social nets, that will help them to push the narrative, to let people know that Hausa Fulani is not word that they should accept. This Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. They should dismantle it, because this is what they have been using to destroy their people. But it didn't end there. Thank God that VTM had this voice to push this narrative that this Hausa and Fulani are not one. The Fulani S-men are the ones spying people. But I want you guys to listen to what VTM said. We'll be right back.
Alright, so the Hausa-speaking tribes, who are Muslims, was conditioned by the political class, the people in power, to live and die in abject poverty. These people have been conditioned, have been structured to live and die in abject poverty. They will never know anything good in their lives. And this is the structure that the people in power have put in place for the longest. They did this thing because they want to continue having control over political power. And what is political power? Political power is numbers. And this is why, no matter what they do, they will always get less than more. Please tell me today, what is an Hausa man good for in Nigeria? First of all, these people are born. When they born them, they start teaching them how to beg. They are not worth shit. When they are born, about 60-70% of them go into learning how to become beggars as children. It's not like that in the West. It's not like that in the South. It's not like that in the East. Children are being asked in this other region of Nigeria. They will ask them, what do you want to be in future? You hear pilots. You hear pilot, you hear engineer, you hear electrical engineer, you hear different things. The children in the North don't have this luxury of even deciding what they want to be. They become beggars. That's what they are born into. What is an Hausa man good for in Nigeria? Megadi, Gitman. Megadi. That's what they are good for. What is an Hausa man good for? Kalan, shoemaker. That's what they are good for. What's an Hausa man good for? King. Obioma, mobile tailor. Have you ever seen an Igbo man doing kala shoemaker walking up and down? Have you ever seen a Yoruba man kala going up and down? How many times have you seen an Igbo man being a gate man? Even in the eastern region, in the western region, they go and they say, who is the best for gate man? Say, all those outside people, they are very honest, they bring them. Meshai, Mesuya. These are all what these people are good for. This is a structure that they will never become better. They will never have an option. Now, these children that were born into begging, they don't beg for themselves to eat. Even what they beg. If you see those children with rubber plates or those children asking you for alms, when they gather that money, they take it to their malam. Then the malam, in return, give them something from what they begged from for them to survive on. I'm coming, I'm going somewhere. Hausa speaking tribes, go and ask. The men in Jos, what are they good for? Jos men. There's no option. They drink. They do megad. Hausa speaking tribes. Benue, the same thing. Benue men are known to be megads. Gate men. Their girls, their women are mostly known for being house helps. The Hausa speaking tribes was structured in Nigeria to never tell people that their population can change the country. They don't have access to education at an early age. The adults don't have access to big companies, to industries, because they didn't learn anything when they were growing up. But there's something that they have access to. They have access to guns. They have access to grenades. You know who give those to them? Those AK-47s. You can buy AK-47 in the north. There are videos of a man that said he bought, one guy that they caught, he said he bought 60,000 naira for AK-47 and they buy bullets for 1,000 naira. The politicians supply them all these things to terrorize the country. But they will never supply them anything that will make their life better. Now, they don't even know better. That's another thing. These are, like I said, you give birth to people, you drop them in the streets, they learn how to beg at an early age. Then when they learn how to beg for a long period, then when they become adults, they become self-conscious a little bit. But now, they don't know any better. It's not as if they went to go and learn how to do handwork. That's another thing. I said in the other part of Nigeria, as a small boy, they will not beg. They'll still go and learn how to, they'll say put up for mechanic. This side, they don't do all those things. So somebody that did not learn anything growing up, as an adult, is just sitting down somewhere. Somebody will just come and tell him that, I have guns, let's go into kidnappings. Most of the terrorists in Nigeria are from the Hausa-speaking tribes. Most of the kidnappers in Nigeria are from the Hausa-speaking tribes. The bandits are from the Hausa-speaking tribes. There is a reason for all of these things. There is a reason. There is a reason for all of these things. This is a political structure that is meant to keep them like that for life. And you know why? Because of political power. Because the North, the Hausa-speaking tribes, they decide who become the president with their votes. So these politicians understand this. That is why they can never give them something good. They have to keep them in abject poverty. They have to keep them in a condition where they will beg to eat. So that when these politicians come with bag of rice and 5,000 naira and tell them, vote for this person, they will not have an option than to do that. And of course, because they are Hausa speakers, and because they are from the North, when this political class, the one that went to school, when they bring any other person and say, oh, this one speak Hausa, this one is close to you, these people are not even educated to know that Igbos exist, Hausa, Yoruba exist, Edo exist, Efik exist, Delta people exist, Bayelsa people exist. They don't even know all these parts. They are not educated enough to know. They only know that the person that can associate with us is the person that speaks like us. So the politicians can never give them something good. This is why all the northern states are being terrorized, because this is the structure that has been put there by the political class to control the country. It's deliberate. We will never give them a good life. See Lagos, if you go to Lagos, you have companies. If you go to Edo State, at least you get oil, people they do. If you go to the Niger Delta region, there's oil. If you go to the east, businessmen. If you go to the north, disaster, beggars, almajiri. That's what they know. They don't know any better. Structure. That's what they did to them. These terrorists you see, these kidnappers you see, these bandits you see, they don't know any better. These are people that were taken advantage of politically. They don't know no better. Why am I saying this? The North needs help. Until the North is liberated, Nigeria will never grow. If Northern Nigeria is not liberated, North Central, if all these places are not liberated, Nigeria will never grow. And what am I trying to say in this video? The Arewa influencers, you have to start preaching to these people that this is the condition that have been structured for them. Thank God we have social media now. Very Dark Man is sitting in one room, started in one room. Today, he has millions of followers and he can send his message to millions of followers. I can post now and say, let us congregate there. Thousands of people will come outside. We have an opportunity in this generation to help ourselves. We are not enemies. These politicians have successfully turned Christians against Muslims. Turned Hausas against the other people. They lie to them that, oh, they are the ones that have the power. Hausa man will tell you that they know politics. They know politics. Well, the elites know politics. The one below don't know nothing. I said the Hausa-speaking tribes are not good for anything based on what the political class have made it to be. That is why, when I talk through, if you meet an Hausa man that speaks good English, you are usually surprised. No lie. When you see Hausa man, what's up now, they can't speak English, you go shock. No lie. Then you take it somewhere, be like, oh, I met one Hausa guy. The Hausa man where go school, they go school finish. See, it's a structure. I remember when Ali Nuhu starred in an English movie. Ali Nuhu, a Hausa movie actor. I swear to God, we surprised when Ali Nuhu would speak English for the English film, Nollywood film. We shocked. Ali Nuhu, they speak English. We were surprised because we didn't expect anything better from him. You see, the markets that have been sold against the Hausa-speaking tribes by these politicians is bad. We have to cleanse them for this country to be great. If you decide to, let me tell you how empty the North is. Let me tell you how bad it is. I said the only reason why the politicians still consider those people as human beings is because of election. After election, anything that happens to them, they don't care. You have to understand this. If today we say make Nigeria divide, the West is going to survive. The East, the East will survive times 1 billion times. The South region will survive. But you see the North Central, they will not survive. Now only Abuja will survive. They will not survive. They don't have anything to survive on. Yet they have the manpower. These people are honest people. The Hausa-speaking people are honest people. Northerners are the most honest people in Nigeria. They are very, very hardworking. They are very loyal and very honest. But what do they get in return? Banditry, terrorism, bombing, because the politicians made it so. And like I said, their children are born to become beggars. Almajiri. That's what they are born to become. And it's not their fault because they don't know any better. We have to bring them closer. If you have a platform, this is the generation that can change things. You have to bring the Ariwas closer. You have to bring the Hausas closer. You have to bring these people close. If you have an opportunity to give orientations, that's spirit. We need to do these things. Else, this country will perish.
You listen to what VDM said, the point that this VDM make. Education is one of the key that they use to enslave the Hausa people. The Fulani people came to Nigeria. They are not Nigerian. They never belongs to Nigeria. They are not part of Nigeria. They came as a settler. Because they have this religion, whatever, like they are Muslim, they were able to integrate themselves by marrying these Hausa people. But first, before it began, it was a war. They buy all these people, implement their own people, and at the end of the day, after they capture them, they start marrying them just to silence them. We are Muslim. Now, the Hausa people are the ones that you see in the street. And before we talk about what we know about the Hausa people, I want you guys to watch this guy reaction, this content creator reaction towards VDM video. We'll be right back.
Very dark man of Nigeria made a video saying that the Hausa child has been subjected and conditioned by the political class to what? Abject poverty. Very dark man of Nigeria also stated and said that the Hausa child has been made not to be good at anything, but to be alamajiri, beggars, begging in the street. I saw that video and my heart broke for the Hausa child. And the question remains, how can Nigerians and Nigeria and the entire continent help liberate the Hausa child from the shackles of abject poverty? How is that possible? Is it money that they need? The last time I checked, the richest man in Africa happened to come from the ethnicity. So money is likely not to be their problem, because I tell you, even if you give $1 million to every Hausa child, they will still remain in abject poverty. Because what is poor in them is not their purse. As much as their purse is poor, what is poor the most is their mind. Akebelen. A river that forgets its source will dry. A tree without its fruit will cut short. The only way to help the Hausa child is to help the Hausa child with the knowledge of himself. Because historical injustice has been done on the Hausa child. Pay attention, Akebelen. Let the voice of the Akebelen educate you. The voice of the continent. You see, when you study the academic curriculum of the 54 independent countries in Africa, and of course I've studied them, there is something negatively associated with the curriculum or the syllables of Nigeria. Nigerians are not taught history. They are taught government at most. But then when a teacher is teaching government in Nigeria and they want to teach you the pre-colonial days of Nigeria, do you know what the teacher does? According to the textbook, the teacher identified the Igbo child and taught the Igbo child the pre-colonial days of the Igbo. The Igbo child is being taught about the Umuada, the Ezemo, the 8th grade. The Igbo child is being taught about the Aba women protest. The Igbo child is being taught about the Ekumeku movement. The Igbo child is taught about the knowledge of himself before colonization. What about the Yorubas? The Yorubas are being taught about the pre-colonial days. They are being taught about their laughing, about the Ogbeniko fatality, about the Oyomesi. The Yorubas are being taught about the Ora Onaka Kamfo. They are being taught about the Oyo Empire and how uniquely they were alongside the Igbos, how unique they were. Other tribes are being taught. But when you come to the Hausa child, the teacher will not teach you. Whom the Hausa child were independently, they will teach you the pre-colonial days of the Hausas and Fulani, telling you that the Hausa child cannot be educated independently of who he was before the Fulanis. Pay attention. This topic is a very sensitive one because Nigerians are emotional people, and whenever a topic has to do with the northern part of Nigeria, you must be careful because there's a whole lot of propaganda engineered in that part of the country. But you must pay attention. The voice of Akebelen is about to teach. The Hausa child has been denied knowledge of who he was historically because the pre-colonial days that is being taught about the Hausa and Fulani begins from 1903 when Britain came and removed Muhammad Atahiru II and chased him to Bumi and on a live film. That is not the history of the Hausa child. If you must empower the Hausa child, you must empower him with knowledge of who he was before 1804 and 1808. Who was he before jihad? Who was the Hausa child before jihad? Teach him the names of his states. Teach him the names of his kingdom. Teach him his food. Teach him his identity. Let him know that his ancestors were not mediocres. The Hausa child must be taught and be made to understand that his ancestors were not beggars. His ancestors were not alamajiris. They were not with plates everywhere shouting Babi Allah. No. Let them know that the Hausa child, that they were kings and warriors. The Hausa child must be taught historically who he was before 1804. Let him know that his ancestors had a long history of trading spice and gold in a long distance of the Sahara Desert. Let him know that they were warriors. Let him know they were good in agriculture. Let him know that they were kings. And they were called Sarikin. And then teach him about the Sarikin Gobe. Teach him about the Sarikin Kano, the Sarikin Castina, the Sarikin Kano, the Sarikin Zazu. Teach him about his legend Bagajia. Teach him about the Yangfa. Teach him about Amina Walls. Teach him about his identity. The Hausa child must be made to understand that his ancestors were better than what he is today. He must be made to understand. Teach him not just 1903, but teach him 1804 and teach him 1808. But the academic curriculum will never do that. The educationalists in your countries will not do that because they fear of what the Hausa child will become if being empowered with the knowledge of himself. And because the Hausa child have not been empowered with knowledge of himself, he cannot grow. Because he cannot grow beyond who you are. You can't. It's impossible to forget your ancestors and grow. Because your ancestors will be ashamed of who you are because you have forgotten them. They believe it's out of cowardice. History will empower the Hausa child more than finance. Because when they understand who they were, they will understand their destiny. Akebulan, how many Hausa children know about the Akawara campaign of 1808? How many Hausa child know about the Battle of Kavitung Patu of 1804? How many of them knows about this? How many? You go to Gobe today, when you go to Nigeria, is there any statue of Sarikin Yangfa? None. None. So how will the people remember themselves? When they look at the water, what do they see? Did they see progress or did they see defeat? That is why they are going to be used. That is why they are going to be used, because they lack the knowledge of themselves. They lack the history of themselves, because no one has taught them. No one has taught them. So all they see is a man with a plate begging. They don't see leadership. They don't see kinship. They don't see loyalty. They don't see prestige. They don't see honor. All they see is begging and poverty, because they lack knowledge of themselves. Akebulan, a man who do not know where the rain start beating him will never know where his body dried up. If you want to help the Hausa child, you must empower him with knowledge. And the man tried. Your former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, built schools for the Alamajiri. But the mischievous political elite among them who do not want them to have the knowledge of themselves fought and kicked against Alamajiri schools, because the Hausa child must be made ignorant. He must be made ignorant. He must not be allowed to acquire knowledge, because knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. But when you talk about this, people think you're a promoter of negative ethnicity. They say, oh, Tankraya, you want to divide the Hausa Fulani. Never! That's not the goal. No, that's not the goal. It is Shakespeare who said the deed is done and what is done cannot be undone. The Hausa and Fulani have exchanged culture. They have intermarried. So the essence of teaching this is not for them to rise and fight each other. No! But for you to liberate a man, you must give him truth. Truth! You must give him truth. That is where he will gain the knowledge of himself. Does not mean you want to divide, but you want to empower. You will continue to deceive yourself if you think the Hausa child does not need historical knowledge. He needs it. Only then can he be free. Because he has forgotten who he was. And because he has forgotten who he was, he will remain where he is in abject poverty. And the political class will continue to use him. You might not change what happened in history, but it's your duty and responsibility to make sure that the next generation understand the glory of the Hausa past. And so they can understand their responsibility of shaping their future. Only then, and then alone, can they rise from the ashes of their past. Only then can they rise and become who they are. Because when you go to Awe people have been taught about who they were before colonization. The same thing with Zosa, the same thing with Zulu, the same thing with the Moash, the same thing with every ethnic group in Africa. Why is their own different? We cannot keep quiet. No, it is your duty now that you know to educate them. Don't say no, it's not your business, it's your business. As long as they are down there, you'll be down there. Because education is your ability to apply knowledge to change your life. It doesn't end there. And also change the life of those around you. Help the Hausa child. Help him recover to make Akebulan great. Because Akebulan must be great again. Akebulan. Long live West Africa. Long live East Africa. Long live North Africa. Long live Central Africa. Long live Southern Africa.
Listen to what he said. There are more to be done to the Hausa, but unfortunately, we cannot really do much from the south, from the southeast, or neither the southwest. It's going to be difficult because the Hausa people are being ruled now by the Fulani. The Fulani controls the executive, the judicial, and the legislature. Above it all, they also controls all the armed forces. They controls them. That's why you cannot arrest a Fulani man that Fulani man will sleep easy, no matter the crime the person committed. But before then, I want you guys to also watch this particular video. We'll be right back.
They talk make the team pay northern leaders. If they want to do election of leadership for beggars for Nigeria, now Northern go be president. Now Northern go be vice president. Now Northern go be general secretary. Now Northern go be accountant general of beggars. Now the only thing where I know say Igbo go take na treasurer.
I'm financial secretary and the president.
When I know say, the only man won't beg. They choose where to beg. It not be like Hausa we go stayed by the roadside, they risk in life. Karama pays a mainland life. Sadaka saboda mandan Allah. Ya wahidin ya Allah wahidin Maula sadaka saboda man sai da balarabe Maula balarabe uba Musa kallamu Maula kallamu. So when I go shout Maula, ya wahidin ya Allah wahidin Maula sadaka saboda man sai da balarabe Maula balarabe uba Musa kallamu Maula that is the men. Now the men they do this one. The women now. When I say kawo kawo una go shout baby Allah. Kawo kawo baby Allah. Kawo kawo baby Allah. Sadaka saboda Allah. Baby ya Allah. Mama and baby. Baby ya Allah. Kawo sadaka. Baby ya Allah. Baby ya Allah. I dey talk and make the team pain our brothers and sisters. Kariya nake. Shugabannin arewa kariya nake. Azaliman banza azaliman wofi. Kun sa talaka cikin wani halin kunci. Barayin banza kun saci kudin ba za ku gina kamfanoni ba za ku yi wani abu wanda zai taki al'umma ba. Sauran mutanen abokan zaman mu suna sata suna kafa kamfanoni suna taimaka ma yan uwansu ku ma barayin ne amma me kuka tsina namu arewa. Mu ne kan gaba wajen shaye-shaye. Dabara kaskanci mu je mu burge su can bangaren akale mu a ce mana almajiri.
The fact remains that the Hausa people are the one that you see in your state that are selling onions on their wheelbarrow, selling all kinds of fruits with their wheelbarrow, selling beans with their wheelbarrow, doing shoemaker in the street, doing scavengers, doing hard laborers, taking them to your farm, taking them to your site. These are Hausa people driving bikes. These are genuinely hustling people working in bureau de change. These are the Hausa people selling beads, selling meats in your quarters, in your states. These are genuinely hustlers in your home country. These are genuinely hustlers in your home state, in verity part of the state. They are working, they don't live in the forest. When they were cattle rearers, they do it peacefully. But since Fulani started, they changed the whole narrative. They destroyed the whole country. They don't live in the city. They live in the forest, waiting for you to come to the farm. They buy you. They are looking for women to sleep with. When you come, they rape your mother. When you go to the farm, they buy you, they take all your crops. If they cannot take your crops, they use cutlass to slice it off. But when they becomes a cattle rearer, they take their cattle specifically to your farm to eat up your crops. That is what these Fulani have been doing in Nigeria. So in order for we to push the narrative, we should be able to separate the wheat from the shaft, the short from the wheat. Let everybody know if you're Hausa, you know how to speak their language. You should be able to educate people that, hey, they are using religion to bend you. That's why they will tell you, don't vote for this person because he's a Christian. Don't vote for this person because he's not a Muslim. Oh, you should not vote for this. You should not vote for that. If you vote for this, it will be better that for an infidel to be a president than a non-Muslim to be a president. They use religion to bind you, but once you now vote for that person who is a Muslim, the person will do nothing. Every day you keep on seeing, oh, this person are dead. They keep on buying people. They keep on executing people. They keep on doing burial upon burial and burial and burial every day. See, the mass burial that are going on in Jos, going on in Sokoto, going on in Bonu, going on in Benue, is across Nigeria right now. People are dying every day, and the president will say nothing. The president will say nothing. You will beg president to speak. He will say, The only time your president will speak is when he wants to borrow. Borrowing is not a leprosy. And the Senate at Babio, we approve you to borrow. We must borrow to share. Anyway, what are your thoughts about this particular video? Please, all of you, if you are from the north in your platform, make videos to awaken these Hausa people to disassociate themselves from this Fulani. We're not saying you should not cohabit or coexist, but allowing them to be your state governor, your local government, your senator, your house of rep, your president, allowing them to control you is what we are telling you people to stand up for. It is not wrong for Hausa man to become a governor in your state. It is not wrong for Hausa man to become a deputy. It is not wrong for Hausa man to become a councillor. It is not wrong for Hausa man to become a chairman. It is not wrong for Hausa man to become a senator. It is not wrong for Hausa man to hold any political office, even if it is just a DPU. It is not wrong for Hausa man to become IG. It is not wrong for Hausa man to head any office, any public office, even if it is your Emma. Hausa man should be there because it is your rightful inheritance. But unfortunately, because of religion, most of you will also ignore videos like this. You people need more of this man. More. It's not just him because the weight is on him only now. That's why his voice is not echoing across the country. Imagine a lot of them, like content creators that are in the south, in the southeast, in the southwest. When one make videos, a lot, like over hundreds of them make videos, the whole nation will feel it. But just him only in the north is too much for him. Anyway, peace out.
Na faɗi ne domin abin ya sosa muku rayuwar kawo. Ina son abin ya ɓata muku rayuwarku. Ku ji zafin abin in za a gyara a gyara. A ce ɗan arewa shine wulaƙantacce, shine ƙasƙantacce, shine abun wulaƙantawa. Mu da muke da daraja. An raba kawunan mutane an ce wannan musulmi ne, wannan kirista ne, wannan tangala ne, wannan ina ruwanka. Shi Allah da ya halicce mu guguda shi kaɗai ya bar ma kanshi sani dalilin da ya sa ya haɗa mu guguda. Talauci ya yi mu mutane katutu a arewa. Muna da manya amma na banza wanda ba su tunanin yadda za su taimaka ma al'umma. Da kayi magana a ce ordinary Ahmad Isa mara kunya ne, wane ne? Ka ji tsoron Allah ko ki ji tsoron Allah. Kuna abin da ya dace. Kamfanoni nawa ne a arewa? Kamfanonin da ke Ogun, jihar Ogun, ta fi kamfanonin da ke arewa ga baki ɗaya, jihohin nan ga baki ɗaya. Me ake mana? Sai dai mutum ya zo, ni sanata ne, wannan mamba ne, mamban banza, sanatan banza da wofi a zalimai. Kun za a gyara a gyara.